Ever since I started watching YouTube and came online on the internet, I have seen people play Mechanism and mostly complain about one thing, and it's the fissile fuel. So in this video, I will teach you guys how you can 100% automate fissile fuel in Mechanism without the need of doing any work in the future once this is built. So watch till the end because this guide in automation is not like other guides. And I did this my own way. Also, this whole video is raw and unedited. To start this, we will need a few ores, like a lot of coal, uranium, fluorite. All of these can be found in the overworld and mined with an iron pickaxe. And look something like this. Uranium will drop the ore that needs to be smelted, and fluorite will drop multiple fluorite crystals. Fortune will result in more. For uranium, it's used to make yellow cake. Uranium, which can be done by putting uranium ingot into an enrichment chamber, and it will be turned to the yellow cake uranium. That is important for later on. And for the use of coal, we put it inside this pressurized reaction chamber, and it will turn into sulfur dust. An energy source, an electric pump, a rotary condenser, a pressurized reaction chamber, a chemical oxidizer, a chemical infuser, an electrolytic separator, a chemical dissolution chamber, and finally, an isotopic centrifuge. And for the sake of fully automated, we will need enriching and smelting factory. I will do this as people would want to put this in the ground. It'll start with a few chests. Put some signs to not forget which is which. Dig out the area and link them with logistical transporter cables and configure them to pull from the chest. We will start by putting a pressurized reaction chamber linked to the coal chest, hook it with power. And put a pressurized cable underneath with a basic chemical tank linked to it. It stays and toggle it to dumping. So KT stays automated. Configure the machine. As shown in video, also the configuration is different as the machine sides depend on what angle you place them. I usually put them facing me and place down water and a pump and a mechanic pipe on top of the pump and a electrolytic separator on top of the pipe, because both machines need water. Also configure as shown in the video. And all the configurations can't be noted via AI voice, so just keep in mind to follow all configurations as shown in video. And pause if needed, please, and to save space and resources. I usually line the machines up next to each other in a straight line. Next, we place a chemical infuser and configure it and hook it with a pressurized tube that flows oxygen into it. And oops, we needed the chemical oxidizer in between. My bad, sorry. We place that down and configure it. Then next to it, we place another chemical infuser. We place another pump and hook it next with a rotary condenser and hook them both with power. Also, don't make the mistake as I did, which is putting a pipe next to the machines before configuring them. That's a common mistake which leaves many people clueless on why their machines aren't working. So next we place a chemical dissolution chamber, and then we link the logistical transporter pipe from the fluorite chest and make sure it isn't near any other pipe, or configure it via configurator to make sure nothing is flowing into the wrong area. Make sure it's the fluorite chest. Organized next, we place another chemical oxidizer and hook the logistical transporter pipe from the uranium chest to it and configure it. And we place yet another chemical infuser, make sure every machine is powered and linked. Next, we place an isotopic centrifuge and configure it, and make sure it also gets power. And there we go. Everything is finished, and you can hook it up to your reactor, and for the sake of the video, I will link the cable next to the chests so we can see the automation happen. And if you want, you can fully upgrade each machine so it makes fuel faster, but do it once you get a lot of power producing because this setup will take a lot of power once fully upgraded with upgrades. So now let's test out the automation, and please make sure that everything is linked, like double check beforehand before placing blocks on top and closing it. And I forgot to configure the last chemical infuser grate. And for that, I'll need the hydrofluoric acid first, which isn't being produced. Let's check the problem. Yup, I forgot to put eject on. And now, once we configure everything, we are producing fissile fuel just like that. And you can also use the miner for the ores and hook it up that way. But just manually putting in the ores in the chest is good enough, I guess. And if you want to just put in raw uranium ores, then get enriching and smelting factories. We place the smelting one and configure it, which is by the way wrong. I forgot the enriching factory, LOL. And after realizing, we place the enriching factory first, and then the smelting factory next to it, and hook the uranium chest pipe to the smelting factory. We configure both factories and upgrade them if you want. And that's 100% automation of the fissile fuel. And also, the coal doesn't really have to be in blocks. It can be just coal. The machine takes both, as you can see. And that's it. For this short tutorial, it would have been shorter if I edited it. But I think the raw, unedited video shows that this tutorial works and is legit. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys later. Bye.